The gens Manlia was one of the oldest and noblest patrician houses at Rome, from the earliest days of the Republic until imperial times. The first of the gens to obtain the consulship was Gnaeus Manlius Cincinnatus, consul in 480 BC. The family was probably numbered amongst the gentes maiores, the most important of the patrician families. Origin of the gens. The Manlii were said to hail from the ancient Latin city of Tusculum. The nomen Manlia may be a patronymic surname, based on the pronomen Manius, presumably the name of an ancestor of the gens. The gens Manlia was derived from the same name. However, Mania was not used by any of the Manlii in historical times. Pronomina used by the gens. The Manlii used the pronomina Publius, Gnaeus, Aulus, Lucius, and Marcus. The Manlii Torquati also favored the name Titus, using primarily that, Aulus, and Lucius. A well-known story relates that after Marcus Manlius Capitolinus was condemned for treason, the Roman Senate decreed that henceforth none of the gens should bear the pronomen Marcus. However, this legend may have originated as a way to explain the scarcity of the name amongst the Manlii, as the name was occasionally used in later generations. Branches and cognomina of the gens. The earliest cognomen found amongst the Manlii is Cincinnatus, better known as a cognomen of the Quinctii. This name, probably referring to a person with fine, curly hair, may have been a personal surname, as it does not seem to have been used by later generations. The cognomen Vulso appeared shortly thereafter, and this family flourished for over 300 years. Several other early Manlii appear without cognomina. The family of the Capitolini was descended from the Vulsones, and appears at the beginning of the 4th century BC. The surname Capitolinus probably indicates that the family lived on the Capitoline hill, although the role of Marcus Manlius in saving the capital from the Gauls during the sack of Rome in 390 BC is also credited with establishing the name in his family. The surname was relatively short-lived amongst the Manlii, being replaced by that of Torquatus. Imperiosus was a cognomen belonging to some of the Capitolini and Torquati, bestowed on account of their imperious manor. The Torquati were descended from the Capitolini, and obtained the surname from Titus Manlius Imperiosus, who defeated a giant Gaul during a battle in 361 BC, and took his torque as a trophy, placing it around his own neck. The descendants of Torquatus remained prominent until the final decades of the Republic. The Manlii Acidini rose to prominence during the Second Punic War, and like the Torquati, held the highest offices of the state from then until the end of the Republic. Members of the gens. Early Manlii. Gnaeus Manlius P.F. Cincinnatus, consul in 480 BC, fell in battle against the Etruscans. Manlii Vulsones. Gnaeus Manlius CNF. Vulso, consul in 474 BC. Aulus Manlius CNF. PN. Vulso, Decemvir in 451 BC. Marcus Manlius Vulso, Tribunus Militum Consulari Potestate in 420 BC. Aulus Manlius AF. CN. N. Vulso Capitolinus, Tribunus Militum Consulari Potestate in 405, 402, and 397 BC. Publius Manlius M. F. Vulso, Tribunus Militum Consulari Potestate in 400 BC. Gnaeus Manlius M.F. Vulso, Tribunus Militum Consulari Potestate in 379 BC. Lucius Manlius A.F. P.N. Vulso Longus, consul in 256 and 250 BC. Lucius Manlius Vulso, unsuccessful candidate for the consulship in 216 BC. Publius Manlius Vulso, praetor in BC 210, received Sardinia as his province. Gnaeus Manlius CNF. F.L.N. Vulso, consul in 189 BC. Lucius Manlius C.N.F.L.N. Vulso, praetor in 197 BC, received Sicilia as his province. Aulus Manlius C.N.F.L.N. Vulso, consul in 178 BC. Manlia Capitolini Marcus Manlius Capitolinus, tribunus militum consulari potestate in 434 BC. Lucius Manlius Capitolinus, tribunus militum consulari potestate in 422 BC. Aulus Manlius A.F. C.N.N. Vulso Capitolinus, tribunus militum consulari potestate in 405, 402, and 397 BC. Quintus Manlius A.F. Vulso Capitolinus, tribunus militum consulari potestate in 396 BC. Marcus Manlius D.F. A.N. Capitolinus, consul in 392 BC, the deliverer of the capital from the Gauls. Aulus Manlius A.F. A.N. Capitolinus, tribunus militum consulari potestate in 389, 385, 383 and 370 BC. Gnaeus Manlius Capitolinus, tribunus militum consulari potestate in 385 BC. Publius Manlius A.F. A.N. Capitolinus, tribunus militum consulari potestate in 379 and 367, and dictator in 368 BC. Lucius Manlius A.F. A.N. Capitolinus Imperiosus, dictator in 363 BC. Gnaeus Manlius L.F. A.N. Capitolinus Imperiosus, consul in 359 and 357 BC. Manlii Torquati Titus Manlius L.F. A.N. Imperiosus Torquatus, dictator in 353, 349, and 320, consul in 347, 344, and 340 BC. Titus Manlius D.F. L.N. Torquatus, executed by his father for disobeying an order, 340 BC. Titus Manlius Torquatus, consul in 299 BC, thrown from his horse and killed. Lucius Manlius Torquatus, legative Lucius Cornelius Scipio Barbatus in the Great Campaign of 295 BC. Aulus Manlius D.F. T.N. Torquatus Atticus, consul in 244 and 241 BC. Titus Manlius D.F. T.N. Torquatus, consul in 235 and 224, and dictator in 208 BC. Aulus Manlius D.F. T.N. Torquatus, grandson of Atticus. Titus Manlius A.F. T.N. Torquatus, consul in 165 BC. Aulus Manlius A.F. T.N. Torquatus, consul in 164 BC. Titus Manlius D.F. Torquatus, witness on behalf of Gnaeus Plancius in 54 BC. Aulus Manlius Torquatus, propraetor of Africa circa 70 BC. Lucius Manlius L.F. Torquatus, consul in 65 BC. Aulus Manlius Torquatus, praetor in 52 BC, supported Gnaeus Pompeius during the Civil War. Lucius Manlius L.F. L.N. Torquatus, partisan of Pompeius, taken prisoner and slain in 46 BC. Titus Manlius Torquatus, quaestor of Gaius Vibius Pansa in 43 BC. Manlia Acidini Lucius Manlius Acidinus, praetor urbanus in 210 and proconsul of Hispania in 206 BC. Lucius Manlius Acidinus Fulvianus, consul in 179 BC. with his natural brother Quintus Fulvius Flaccus. Manlius Cincinnatus, mentioned as an illustrious youth in 170 BC by Livius Lucius Manlius Cincinnatus, quaestor in 168 BC. Manlius Cincinnatus, an acquaintance of the younger Cicero in 45 BC. Others: Aulus Manlius, legative Gnaeus Manlius in 107 BC, during the war against Jugurtha; Manlius Lentinus, legative Gaius Pomponius in Gallia Narbonensis, took the city of Ventia in 61 BC; Gnaeus Manlius, tribunus plebis in 58 BC, proposed a law granting the libertini the right to vote in all of the tribes; Titus Manlius Valens, consul in AD 96, and died the same year; Manlius Cantia, wife of Marcus Didius Julianus, and Roman empress in AD 193; Anicius Manlius Severinus Boethius, influential Christian philosopher.